Hello everyone and welcome back to the Blackfoot Book Club and another volume of my essential film reviews collection. Thanks so much for being there. Welcome back everyone. What's the most you've ever lost on a coin toss? Nominated for 8 Oscars, the Coen Brothers themselves won in 3 categories: Best Picture, Best Director and Best Adapted Screenplay, taking their current personal tally to 4 Oscars. The other Oscar was awarded for a thunderous performance from Javier Bardem as Best Supporting Actor, more of which later. Numerous other awards followed for a film that is simply breathtaking at times and at others is a slow, methodical take on consistently used Coen Brothers themes of a simple plan going awry and of luck and chance playing a huge part in everyday lives. Based on the book of the same name by Cormac McCarthy, there is a particularly minimal score from regular collaborator Carter Burwell, with often only sounds used to convey the current scene, a coin dropped, a distant rustle, or particularly a tracking transponder blip, that when used is the dominant sound of the scene. On first viewing, the lack of a musical score was immediately evident, but on subsequent viewings, this subtle, almost subconscious collection of sounds becomes the score. Regular collaborator and director of photography Roger Deakins was also nominated for an Oscar again, but again lost out. But it is to him that we start this journey, as the film itself opens with continual backdrops of wide open Texas plains and deserts, and what became an integral character of the film itself. The first 2 acts in particular are immersed in these wide open plains, and this very integral part of the film is shot and framed beautifully. The film immediately has a feel and a look of Fargo, minus the snow, in its vast open vistas as far as the eye can see, and bleak and very remote. This 2-hour film starts as it means to go on, at its own pace, and never rushed, to tell an intriguing moral story of luck and destiny interspersed with ferocious bursts of graphic violence, commencing with a matter-of-fact and monotone narration from Sheriff Ed Tom Bell, Tommy Lee Jones. He details his family history with a sense of melancholy at a world he no longer understands, and the narration itself is stunted and awkward in line with the adaptation from the book. As the narration ends, we are introduced to the main character of this brilliantly understated classic of a film, plus the man trying to catch him and a man very differently trying to avoid him as their individual lives now intersect. Anton Chigurh, Javier Bardem, a brooding, menacing killing machine who refuses to allow anything and anyone to stop him. It's a powerhouse performance of minimal dialogue, but with an awkward smile and piercing stares. His determination to kill anything in his path is astonishing, and well deserving of his Oscar win for Best Supporting Actor. A misnomer in terms of the title of the award, but fully deserving nonetheless. Dispassionate and leaving some encounters entirely to the chance of a coin flip. The theme of chance is continually soaked throughout the film. Chigurh's constant menace never allows anyone else to settle. He is forever dictating the course of events to his rules and for an outcome he desires. A cold, calculating hitman, and an utterly astonishing portrayal from Javier Bardem. Ed Tom Bell, Tommy Lee Jones. Trying to catch this killer is Sheriff Ed Tom Bell, brilliantly brought to life by Tommy Lee Jones. Again with very little dialogue, what there is portrayed excellently as methodical, thorough and calculating, with long lingering shots on Jones as he pieces the puzzle together. Very much the heart and soul of the film, he often seemingly talks to himself, or aloud, or directly to the audience. And this is particularly striking, as is the length of performance of each scene that Ed Tom Bell is in. As with the film, it's never rushed, and even without extensive dialogue, the character is given ample room to breathe and explore. Tommy Lee Jones's role here is reminiscent of Frances McDormand's role in Fargo, an older and more experienced local police representative who can distance themselves from the killing, yet through their experience and local knowledge, able to piece a difficult puzzle of clues together. Llewelyn Moss, Josh Brolin. A simple man who benefits from others' misfortune and happens to be in the right place at the right time, following a simple drug deal gone wrong. With enough money to set himself and his wife Carla Jean, a brilliant Kelly MacDonald, up for the rest of their lives. He risks all to act on impulse and out of guilt. A masterful performance from Brolin. Again, there is very minimal dialogue with which to work, as he tries to stay one step ahead of his many adversaries, but resigned perhaps that the twist of fate won't work in his favour, as he asks Carla Jean when he departs, "If I don't come back, tell mother I love her." "Your mother's dead, Llewelyn." "Well then, I'll tell her myself." These three superlative performances dominate the screen, but are ably supported by first Kelly MacDonald as Llewelyn's dutiful wife, and Woody Harrelson in a cameo role as bounty hunter Carson Wells. Garrett Dillahunt provides light and comic relief as Wendell, Ed Tom Bell's deputy sheriff and sidekick, and Tess Harper excels in a small cameo as Ed's wife, Loretta Bell. Fully deserving of their Oscars and various accolades, this is perhaps the Coen Brothers' most openly violent and bloodiest film they've created to date. The killings are dispassionate and graphic, and equally so the aftermath of the various bloody events. The exception to the rule is Chigurh's early use of his crude animal stun gun, but the remainder of his killings are graphic, with trails of blood left or indeed followed by the directors in their aftermath. In stark contrast to the overall tone of the film, these stand out against a slow, methodical film that never feels long or rushed to a conclusion. The killings are violent and often elongated. Against this violent backdrop and vast mountain vistas that surround this classic, the scene I've chosen to dissect is the exact opposite, the infamous coin toss scene. Chigurh enters a garage to pay for gas and immediately dominates the discussion after setting the ground rules. "What business is it of yours where I'm from, friendo?" The attendant, Gene Jones, is shocked by his aggression and continually stumbles now with simple responses to Chigurh's questions and observations. Chigurh mocks the attendant's accent and with a sigh proclaims, "You don't know what you're talking about, do you?" As the attendant continues to struggle with the abstract nature of the conversation. Chigurh, call it. Attendant, for what? Chigurh, just call it. Attendant, well, we need to know what we're calling it for here. Chigurh, you need to call it. I can't call it for you. It wouldn't be fair. The attendant explains he didn't put anything up, to which Chigurh's telling response is a nodding, "Yes, you did. You've been putting it up your whole life. You just didn't know it." Chigurh tellingly notes the date of the coin and the amount of years it's been travelling to get here, before pressing the attendant to call it again. The attendant guesses correctly, and with a shocking smile and warm "well done," the tension of the scene deflates, only to be re-inflated immediately as he warns against mixing this lucky coin in with the others. With a strange raising of his eyebrows, Chigurh gives the attendant another look as he mocks him again with his explanation of the coin and its relevance, and then leaves the store. A simple scene with just 2 cameras initially, with slightly longer shots before two further, closer angles are used for the remainder of the scene. The previously noted theme of chance is highly used throughout, as are key themes of loss, regret, fate, and a feeling of alienation at not being able to dictate the events and course of life. Anton Chigurh is almost immune from these themes, however not from another overriding theme of karma. Up to interpretation, the film works on many more levels and themes, but as a fan of the genre itself and the directorial brothers, this will in years to come be rightly acclaimed as an all-time classic. No Country for Old Men, directed by the Coen Brothers. Brought to you by Stephen Blackford, and my son, who thoroughly despises this film. Hooray! Brought to you by Stephen Blackford, writer and reader of pointless but heartfelt, spoiler-free film reviews since 2012. And I leave you in peace, and with a son who hates this film, and in solidarity, and with a son who hates this film. And I thank you so much for watching. See you again soon. Peace.